Hi. One thing I've noticed lately is that people are really interested in finding work that they can do from home. So today I thought I would share one of the things that I do. I work for a place called Teachers Pay Teacher, and it's really not like working for, because it's really something that I do on my own and I do from home. Teachers Pay Teacher, also known as TPT, is an online store where people create resources. Usually it's teachers or people with teaching experience create resources, educational resources that they can post online and then sell to other people who teach kids. So it's really a great place. And so I thought I would share a little bit of the information and maybe kind of how you can get started, just kind of my story, and hopefully you will learn from it. So this is my Teachers Pay Teacher website, and I have been working for this company for quite a while now. I actually started in 2011, and I was teaching at the time. I'm a retired teacher now, but I was teaching, and I kind of always had that when I retired mentality going, you know? And so I thought, all right, I'm going to try this, see if it works. I already had a lot of resources because, again, I was already teaching and creating resources for the classroom. So I thought I would go ahead and start it. And there's a lot of people who are kind of overnight successes. Well, I don't know about a lot, but there are some people who are an overnight success, and that definitely was not me. So I went ahead and I started with the free membership. Now with the free membership at the time, this was 2011 now, so at the time, um, it was basically 40% went to Teachers Pay Teacher and 60% to me. Plus there was a 30-cent transaction fee. So I wasn't making a lot on any sale, but again, I wanted to start slow. Well, I wanted to start off safe is what I wanted really. And so I thought I would give it a try. My first month, drum roll please, I made $12. Woo! Now you think that's not very much, but really I was excited about every sale. To think that somebody was actually going to buy something that I sold was really just a great thing for me. Now this was in April, and going into May, June, July, we start heading into the summer months. So it really kind of went downhill from there. And so by August, it started picking up a little bit. So probably between August and November, I made between $20 and $30. All right, not a big deal. December, okay, get this, I made $2, and that was in sales. Out of that $2, because the 40% that went to TPT and the 30-cent transaction fee, I made 90 cents. But I still did not get discouraged. You know, I really didn't expect to be an overnight success. I didn't know at the time. A lot of teachers, a lot of people didn't really know about Teachers Pay Teachers. So I wasn't discouraged by this at all. And then going into January, by January 5th, I could already see that it was going to be different. Now, those months that were slow, those were great months to just kind of build my store up, to add products to it, to kind of either create, or since I had a lot of things already created, just kind of put them in a format that was good for selling. So I went ahead, and let's look at my store here. I went ahead and started, adding slowly. I have 875 products now, so it has taken some time. Um, there's just pages of it, okay? So I won't go through all of it, but I just wanted you to get a feel for what the site is like. Okay, so I went ahead and in January, by January 5th, I had sold $10.50. But like I said, I kind of had a different feel for it. I just kind of felt like this was the beginning of what was going to be really great. And so I went ahead and I signed up for the full membership, which it hasn't really changed much. And right now it's $59.95. So it was pretty close to that at the time, maybe like 56. And so I went ahead and went for the full membership. And the fees have changed. Your commission or your profit has changed a little bit, but right at that point, it was 85%. I made 85% off of every sale, and there was no transaction fee, I believe. Uh, Now it's changed for me. It's 80% profit, and there's a 15-cent transaction fee for any sale that's under $3. So a complete purchase under $3. So anyways, that year in 2012, I made, $1,000 in sales. So that was great. And then the next year was like 4,000. And then the year after that was like 8,000 in sales. And so it really did, kind of take off. This was all money that I was just making for working on the products whenever I had time or using what I had already made for my classroom and posting them online. So I really felt comfortable with that. And it pretty much, after those first few years, it pretty much plateaued. That's kind of where I stayed. And then, it started kind of going after that point for a few years. Then it kind of dipped a little bit and went back up. And I kind of take the dipping as a lot more people started finding out about Teachers Pay Teacher. Not only were more people buying, but also more people were selling. So you had that competition. Plus, there's just a lot of people that are really good at this kind of thing. And so I just think, they just got in there and really took off. And so that kind of was a little bit of the dips. The thing that I think got my sales back up again was that I started promoting a lot more. So the first thing you definitely want to do is think about what grade level you're really interested in. You don't have to be a teacher. You just kind of have to have some creative ideas, I guess is what you want to say, and kind of be a little bit of a computer person and be able to manipulate clip art and fonts and those kinds of things. But once you're ready to go, you think about what kind of grade level you want to teach. You think about what kind of resources you want to create, or if you've already got resources, then you kind of start getting those lined up and ready. Now, when you first start selling for Teachers Pay Teacher, you need to post a free item and an item that you actually want to sell. And an item that you actually want to sell. So the best thing is to go ahead and get those ideas and products kind of lined up a little bit, and then go ahead and sign up for your membership. If you're serious about this, spend the $59 and $60 and go for the full membership, because that's where you're really going to make your money off of each sale. Along with going ahead and signing up for Teachers Pay Teacher and starting your membership, you also want to make sure you have a PayPal account. If you don't have one in place, then go ahead and set that up, because that's how you're going to get paid. Teachers Pay Teacher pays out once a month, and so your money goes straight to PayPal, and then you're able to move your funds over. So you want to make sure that you have your PayPal account set up before you register. So there's a couple things that I wish I would have known or even listened to when I first started. And the main thing is, when I first started, let me open this up. When I first started, I was really into Microsoft Word. I was going to stick with Microsoft Word no matter what. And I read a lot about starting with PowerPoint. Now I've got my PowerPoint here really already saved. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And then my PowerPoint is saved so where I have my page at an 8.5 by 11. So I know that I can do that. I usually use the portrait versus landscape. Now that's the one thing about PowerPoint is you can't, or at least not as far as I know, mix the two different formats. And so, if I wanted to be the landscape versus, then I just switch back and forth. But I usually have it already set up. And then on the bottom, I already have my copyright posted down there. And that's one thing that you want to make sure is you want to make sure you include your copyrights at the bottom of your page when you're making your products. Okay, so that's one thing. I definitely would stick with PowerPoint because it's the easiest to add to change, to manipulate. My problem with the Microsoft Word is now when I go back to make those edits, it's almost impossible because you move one thing and everything moves, and so it's really a nightmare. So I just definitely recommend using the PowerPoint from the beginning. The other thing that I wish I would have known from the beginning is, how when you can go on to insert and then you can go ahead and hit clip art, and then over at the side it's got all these different kinds of clip arts that you can choose from. You can just pick one like dog, and then all these pictures of dog come up, and I always believed that those were free to use because they were on Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or whatever. And so, I just recommend that whether they are free or not free, I just recommend that you stay away from that. And definitely either purchase your clip art. There's lots of resources available on Teachers Pay Teacher, or if you don't purchase it, then to do your own. That is definitely the one thing. I'm going back and still making changes slowly to some of the products that I use. So I would definitely recommend changing that. So I've opened up a product here so you can kind of see some of the things that I've included and also, again, what I would have done differently. This product here, when I first created it, I didn't have the yellow border. And so when I posted it in my store, it looked kind of plain and chopped off because there was really nothing to border the product on the product picture. So I would definitely make sure that you have a colored border around the end. The other thing is you want to make sure that you include your store name and your link on that front cover. So when people purchase your product, whenever they go back to it, they're going to be reminded that that's you, and they'll come back to your store again. So that's the second thing. Another thing is make sure that you have an instruction page if you need it. Now, I do have some products where are like math worksheets. I just have the instructions on the top of each page. I don't need to post all of the different directions. But if it's a game, you want directions on how to play the game. If it's like I do science experiments, you want to make sure you have all the steps included, or STEM activities, all the steps included, everything that they need to know to really successfully use the product. And then go ahead and just go through and do your product, create your product. And then the last thing is you want to make sure that you have a thank you page. And on your thank you page, it just kind of wraps your product up, but you also want to be able to tell people where to visit you, have them link them to your store again, and to your Pinterest or your Facebook or whatever your blogs, what other social medias that you have. So that's just a great way for them to just kind of keep feeding into your resources. So this is what I would definitely have changed if I could have done it all over again. Once you've created your product, you definitely want to be able to test it out. Now, I know that's not always possible, but sometimes, well, a lot of them, most of them I actually was able to test out in the classroom, but sometimes I was on summer break and I wanted to post these products and there was no way for me to really test them. So I would bring in my family and have them try, some of the games or whatever, my grandchildren, have them do some of the worksheets and be able to really see how it worked for them. It didn't give me the exact same feel as in the classroom, but I kind of thought of it if somebody was using the product for homeschool or small group, it was kind of the way it worked. So it was just another big thing to know is just definitely be able to test your material because you want to know if there's anything wrong. You want to work out all the kinks. You really want to think it through. So make sure that you are confident that it's going to be a product that people are happy with. Once you've tested your product, then you're ready to go ahead and post it. Post it to your website and get ready for it to sell. Now, again, it may not sell overnight. It may take some time, but the next thing that you want to do is once you've really got your store going, you want people to start coming to your store. I don't have a large following because I really, even though I have other social medias, I'm not really that kind of person that's out there pushing them. So it's a little bit different. But the one thing that I do is I definitely pin on Pinterest. So it's more than just pinning. When I first started out, I would pin and pin and pin and repin and start different boards and repin again. So I have a lot of boards just for that reason, classroom education, phonics, so I have these boards, but I didn't really see the results that I would have hoped for or expected. And so the thing that probably worked the best for me is that I actually have a Pinterest advertising account. And so my classroom resources is my main board, and I'm able to promote some of the pins, and you have to kind of be careful because you could spend money and still not get any results. So you really need to be selective about your pins. Some of your products that start selling, those are products that people are interested in. So those are kind of the ones that you want to promote. So I just wanted to share this with you. I mean, it's really a good way to make some extra money. Like I said, maybe you're one of those people who might just be an overnight success, and you might be somebody else who, like me, started off kind of slow. But, as a retired teacher now, this is extra income that has helped me retire and that I can count on. It's pretty consistent and it's really nice when it comes in. I'm not dependent on it. I'm not um, counting on it every month, so it's kind of extra money, and it's just really nice. The one thing I would say is if you are really looking for a stay-at-home job that you can live off of and financially depend on, then this might not be for you, at least not until you've worked it for a while and really see what your sales are like. But I love it. Like I said, I've been doing it for a while now, and I really do love it. I'm at a point now with 875 products that I'm not really doing a lot of creating. I'm doing more on the revamping and promoting and nothing. And so I still enjoy it. And so I hope that this video is helpful. I hope it told you a little bit more about Teachers Pay Teacher, and good luck to you.